You're listening to Interviews, the podcast that cracks the entrepreneurship code. I'm your host, Laurent Autin. I'm an entrepreneur, coach to entrepreneurs, and startup mentor with more than 20 years experience running companies and advising entrepreneurs. Being an entrepreneur is the most difficult job there is. There are no practical guidelines. So join me every week and learn how you can better navigate your entrepreneurship journey and become an exceptional entrepreneur. This is episode 4 of my special series, The Entrepreneur Alphabet, which I created to help you better grasp the skills it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. I share practical A to Z insights across 26 short episodes, yes, 26, like the number of letters in the alphabet. And today, we cover the letter D for discipline. Here's my definition of discipline for entrepreneurs. Be organized and get things done one thing after the other. Entrepreneurs are often creative people, excellent at what they do, but sometimes lack the business skills required to run a company. You may feel that you improvise and find yourself overwhelmed with all the things on your agenda and the decisions to make without knowing where to begin. Emilia Earhart, the American aviation pioneer, said, "The most effective way to do it is to do it." And she was the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, so I guess her quote stands true. My point is, don't worry, you can always learn the business skills or hire someone, but you must excel at getting things done. And that requires to be disciplined. So where to start? First, keep in mind that moving is not achieving. Think about it. Are you sometimes frustrated that you have not been able to make your vision real? Do you ever wonder why you work so hard and still not attain the satisfaction your efforts deserve? Do you feel you lack discipline? We always tend to go for the easiest path because the natural way is not to suffer, not to be in pain. Indeed, why would we want to face adversity and risk to be injured? Let me give you two simple examples. One, making a decision. Deciding is difficult because it requires to be responsible and take risk. Risks are potentially painful, so it's better not to decide and instead ask for more time or find any excuses you can come up with. Example 2. Have you noticed how criticizing is always easier than praising? Complimenting someone requires courage, while blaming seems so natural. Criticizing is also a way of not doing anything about a specific situation to remain in a sort of a status quo. Indeed, changing requires effort and potentially challenging yourself, which means potential suffering. So instead, let's not take any risk by blaming others and playing the victim. So as a result of choosing the easiest way, you may find yourself being busy moving, appearing productive, but not achieving anything. In other words, getting things done, because you are avoiding what really matters. Obviously, it requires movement to achieve anything, but there is a huge difference between movement and achievement. Imagine you get enough money to pay for the vacation of your dreams. Aren't you going to make sure that they happen despite the difficulties you may face? So you see, you can get things done when they matter. It's just a question of perspective and discipline. So having discipline is not about being busy. It's not about the number of hours you're putting in. It's about being focused on what really matters and doing it. David Newman, an American speaker and author of Do It Marketing, says, "It's amazing the results you do not get for the work that you do not do. And doing requires courage, but you're an entrepreneur. So refrain from hiding behind your computer and sitting at your desk. Expose yourself instead. Also, Doing is about making decisions, therefore facing the unknown. Yes, it's scary, but you're an entrepreneur. You need to realize that it's part of the job. Accept it, because no one can be accountable for yourself. If you've missed the previous episodes of my special series, The Entrepreneur Alphabet, log on my website, laurentnotin.com/podcast. You can also take the opportunity and listen to the episodes of interviews cracking the entrepreneurship code. We just talked about the importance of achieving, getting things done versus moving. Switching what I will call your getting things done mode on requires that you create the proper environment around you. Let me give you some practical tips to switch it on. First, build rules for yourself and drastically follow them. For instance, as an entrepreneur, you never really leave work, right? It's always there. So you need to learn to create boundaries so that you can enjoy life outside work and mentally recover. One of your rules could therefore be no work on Sundays. Another rule I suggest is to set a process. Start by the easiest or the most difficult tasks, depending on which gets you in motion the fastest, and delegate to those who are better than you at doing certain tasks. Rules are the foundation to discipline. You can create all the rules you may deem appropriate, but remember to follow them, otherwise they're useless. My second tip, to get things done, you must be focused, because you will then give full attention to whatever you are doing. Therefore, you need some quiet time by yourself, and you must remove distractions during such moments. Distractions are interruptions. When you are interrupted, you keep yourself busy but don't achieve anything. There are many time management tools such as the Pomodoro technique that I recommend. Another very important tip that I've learned throughout the years: train yourself to focus on solutions, not problems. Talking about a problem over and again is easy, like complaining and blaming someone for it. But it's not efficient at all. So stop wasting your time and energy talking or thinking problems. Instead, solve them. And my last tip for you is to trust your abilities. Remember, doing requires courage. I know you may be afraid, but you will figure out a method to get things done. There are many ways to do so. If one action does not work, well, another one will. The most important is to stick to your process. You know, entrepreneurs go through a lot of stuff. In the end, what defines how good you are is how committed you are, how consistent you're with your purpose, and how much discipline you have. Thank you for listening. I've just mentioned the word purpose. I will dedicate one future episode about it. So make sure you don't miss it and subscribe to my podcast now. See you next time. Bye.